I went to my first ever Pokemon regional, going specifically to play in the trading card game. Pokemon cards first started being released almost 30 years ago, back in October of 1996. These days, with the rise of us kids who grew up begging our parents to buy the cards, now having adult money to be able to buy them ourselves, and with the rise of scalping, cards can be pretty hard to come by. Pokemon cards these days are more often than not popular for wanting to pull the next big hit or selling the most expensive card for profit. But there's a whole other aspect to the Pokemon cards. The actual card game, where you build a deck of 60 cards, trying your best to come up with a new thing to break the meta and battle other trainers. Play Pokemon is the division of the Pokemon Company that was formed in 2003. This division covers all competitive aspects of Pokemon, from the card game, the video game, and more recently even Pokemon Go and Pokemon Unite. So Play Pokemon events start at your local level through your hobby shops around cards or comic shops. There's a few different levels through the Play Pokemon leagues, and it starts with your league challenges. These are your best of one Swiss-based rounds. The amount of rounds depends on how many players are there for the event. The step up from that are Pokemon League Cups. These start out in the very same Swiss format. The difference is, after that set number of rounds are completed, the top 8 players are then moved into a best of 3 bracket style until an overall winner is determined. After that, we get their regional championships. That's what this video is about. These are held all throughout the year. They are 2-day events, the first day being those Swiss rounds. The players meet certain requirements. They then get to move on to day 2, where there's a final few couple Swiss rounds before they come up with the asymmetrical top 8, where then they go into that same bracket style similar to Cups to have your overall regional champion. The next stage after that are the international competitions. These work very similar to regionals, with the big difference being that instead of a 2-day events, these are 3-day events, and that day 2 that we talked about for the regionals goes all the way up through that top 8 until you get to your final 2 players, and then the 3rd day of the event is all finales for Go, for the video game, and of course for the trading card game, where they just have the final 2 competitors fight it out to be the winner. And all of this leads to the annual World Championships. This competition is held just for the best of trainers. Unlike regionals or internationals or your league challenges or cups, you cannot buy a ticket to compete in this event. You have to be invited. You have to earn your spot at this event, either by winning regionals, winning internationals, or earning enough points from your local leagues and regionals and internationals to have enough points to make yourself eligible for a world's invite. These trainers then battle it out for the title of Pokemon World Champion. Which leads me to when I traveled in April of 2025 to Atlanta to compete in my first regional championship. To save some money, we stayed a little bit further away from the convention center. It was about a 15-ish minute walk through Centennial Park, going right past Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and after taking the thinnest escalator I have ever seen, we made it to the main entry hall. Like I mentioned before, regionals are 2 days of play on Saturday and Sunday, but the convention center itself opens up on Friday for players to check in, get your wristband, pick up your event swag. For regionals, you get a mat typically themed around a recent set. In our case, it was the Latios and Latias mat from Surging Sparks. It has a really nice regional championship stamp on it, which are exclusive for coming to compete in these events. You also get a stamped card, and while the Surfer isn't the most meta-relevant card, it's still really cool to get my first ever regional stamped card. Also on Friday, you're able to walk around and check out the vendors who are going to be here for the whole weekend. It's a good place to buy some cards you might be missing for your collection, or even upgrade some of the cards for the deck that you're planning to play that weekend if you want something that's a little extra shiny. Something to note here, if you're looking to buy cards, the vendors here tend to charge around market price, similar to what you're going to see on like TCG Player, but they're typically going to be $1 or $2 more. You're always welcome to try and make a deal with them, try and trade some cards, sell some cards, but especially on the first and second day, they may turn you down because they're just so busy. And for me, I was like, I will pay the extra couple dollars surcharge because, you know, at least I'm not paying for like the shipping from TCG Player, and I'm also getting the card directly into my hand. But there are definitely some of those cards that were way too expensive. But during this, I managed to find one of my chase cards. It's the Poliwhirl from the 151 set. I am working on getting a complete master set of all English printings of the little guy, and picking this up means I only have a few more left to find before I'm done with this master set. I was able to also take my first walk around the convention floor. I have watched plenty of regionals over this last year since getting into the competitive side of things. And watching these matches on the stream, I never just realized just how simple like their play area is. I expected like this grand stage that they were sitting on, similar to what we've seen at like Pokemon Worlds. But nah, it's a pretty simple, just little 3 walls. They're just sitting there. What you can't see is the commentators who are typically doing the casting during the stream, as well as the post-game interviews. I assume they'd be like sitting out visible. Not, they're like in a backstage right behind where they play with just some curtains covering it. It's kind of silly to actually see it in person. All 3 competitions with the video game and the Pokemon Go setting up right next to it. There's always something to watch once those streams start up. And while we were walking around, we got to see what everyone is playing for, the medals. We spent the rest of the day doing some testing and preparing for what's to come. All that's left to do was to head back to the hotel, re-sleeve our cards so they're nice and ready, and catch a few hours of sleep. We were up nice and early to make our way over to the convention center. The first round started at 8:30, and we needed to be there ready to go beforehand. So we were up at about 6:30 to get ready and head over. For this regional, there was going to be 9 rounds in day 1. And the way the points work from like winning games, you are guaranteed to make day 2 if you only lose 2 games. Any more losses than that and you are out for your contention of day 2. So yeah, I lost my first 3 games. It was pretty upsetting. But my main goal for this weekend was to just get a feel for this regional level of competition. You know, so much of this is the mental side, and can I make it through what is going to be 12 hours of best of 3 competition. So I kept my head up, threw on my headphones, got some pump up music going, and I locked in. So after 12 hours of play, 9 rounds, since it's a best of 3, you didn't always play all 3 games, but I played 23 total games. I ended my day with 3 rounds won and 6 lost. But I had a blast playing. I really had some great interactions with almost all my opponents. There's only one that wasn't great. But otherwise, we had a blast. We had a lot of fun. And it was just really cool. And I have a bar set for the next event that I go to. But that's not it. Just because I didn't make day 2 didn't mean that there wasn't still plenty to do. While the goal, of course, is to make day 2 and continue playing in the 4 rounds of Swiss before top cut, you get to be eligible for prizing. You also get points to go towards your overall for the season. If you don't make those day 2 requirements, or you're just attending as a spectator, there's still side events running through the entire weekend and always stuff to go and see. There was a cup that was actually being run on Sunday, but we didn't get to sign up in time, so instead we just took some more laps around the vendors, and then we went over to sign up for side events. So there's a few things to note about side events. There are a couple different versions of them. There are scheduled events, and then there are events on demand. For the on-demand events, you wait in a line, you put your name on a wait list, and you're in a little pod where you just kind of wait for a judge to pick you up and then run an event with you. These are required to either be a party of 4 or 8, and since we were only a group of 2, we didn't go and play in those. We didn't have anyone else to join. We probably could have looked around and tried to find some other singles or duos to like team up with, but it wasn't really the vibe, so instead we went over and signed up for the scheduled events. So the scheduled events typically do have an additional fee that you pay on top of them. There was like a build-in battle similar to what you would go to a pre-release, where you buy and get like a a pre-made deck with a few extra packs that you can open. The one they were running was for Surging Sparks, so that didn't really interest us, but instead we signed up for a 3-round standard tournament. And with all this talk of side events that you're paying for and participating in, I'm sure you're wondering, well, what's the point of these? What do you win? The answer? Prize tickets. And you get to go and spin these at the prize wall. Playing in this little side tourney that we played in earned me 50 prize tickets, which I was able to go and trade in for a new Sitting Cutie. Sitting Cutie is a line of Pokemon plush that I have bought too many of, and I am running out of room. I don't know where I'm supposed to put these. Another really cool event that they put on during the regional weekend is First Steps. So this is a program, it's a guided walkthrough for how to build a deck and play the game. They state that it's a 60-minute experience. You get to search out trainer cards, get some energy, and you actually get to learn how to build a deck. And then you are taught how to play the game. And afterwards, you get to keep the 60-card deck that you built. While it's probably not going to be the most meta-relevant, ready to jump into your next big league competition, it's a fun place to start if maybe you're coming to a regional as a video game or Go player, or you might just be a spectator and want to learn more about the TCG. Which brings us to the last thing to do at a Pokemon Regional Championship, and that's to actually watch the games that are being live streamed out. While most people tend to clear out as the day gets later to either catch flights or they have to get back home for work or school the next day, we went with the intention of being there until the final moments. We got to watch two of the best TCG competitors right now battle it out for their second, for Andrew Hendricks, or their third, for Henry Chow's case, win of the season. While both of these trainers have already locked in their invite for this year's Worlds, there are still reasons for them to be playing to try and get the next first place. There are, of course, prize money, with this tournament being first place getting $10,000. They also continue to earn those points that we were talking about. Those points then help them earn travel stipends from the company, as well as some other benefits of just actually getting to that highest point total that they can grab. Hey, look, that's me! With the medals handed out and the convention center quickly clearing out, my first regional weekend had come to an end. While I may not have made day 2 or even had the most exciting run, this weekend was about so much more. It was getting the experience of playing at this level, getting to attend such a cool event with thousands of other people who are just excited to play Pokemon. If you ever thought about getting into the competitive side of the Pokemon TCG, you should absolutely go for it. Look for your local hobby shop, card, or comic shop, and find if when they have their weekly locals, they're typically a lot less stress. People are there to have fun, and people are always willing to help you and learn. One of my games that I was sitting in like the 7th round, the person sitting next to me, their opponent, this was their first time playing. They came for their kid who was doing really well down in the seniors level, and he was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, my goal in this game is to just not have to be corrected. And they sat there and just chatted, and the guy was teaching him how to continue to play the game. So it's all about fun, and it's all about learning. So definitely, you don't have to be a pro to have fun, learn, and grow as a player. Hey, thank you for following along on my first regional weekend. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like and consider subscribing. I've got tons of other Pokemon content from Let's Plays and the trading card game, and maybe even coming soon, my first ever North American International Championship video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.